Perfect Grade Podcast. Today we have a special guest. Join us as we talk about painting and customizing Plamos with none other than the Plamomancer himself. But before all that, allow us to welcome you to another episode of the Perfect Grade Podcast, your favorite weekly show where we talk about anything and everything Gundam under the sun. This podcast wouldn't be possible without our partners, Sublink Japan and Vivian Blue, your go-to online stores for Gunplas, figures, and anime goods straight from Japan. Enter our coupon code PG Studios on Vivian Blue. That's capital PGS, small TUDIOS on Vivian Blue. Check them out by clicking on our affiliate links found in the description. Perfect Grade Studios is now sponsored by Armored Komodo, proudly made in the Philippines and trusted by builders around the world. Armored Komodo is the go-to paint brand for scale modelers who want pro-level results. Whether you're brushing, airbrushing, or weathering, Armored Komodo delivers unbeatable coverage, rich colors, and smooth finishes. The best paint in the Philippines, now supporting builders everywhere around the globe. Grab yours from select hobby shops or online stores today. All right. Okay. I am one of your hosts, Raynon, and alongside me are my co-hosts, the Gunpla modeler, the animator, the perfect grade rockstar, the Unipla, Miguel. The creator of one of the most active Gunpla communities, Gunpla Photography, the Gunpla photographer himself, the Daddy GP, and sitting beside him is our perfect grade artist, the 30-minute mission apprentice, Ralph. And for today's special guest, whether it's Gunpla, scale models, or figures, his passion in assembly and painting will surely impress you. He's on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram to share his process, passion, and knowledge. We have none other than Plamomancer. Welcome to the show, Fritz. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thank you
Hello.
for being
Glad to be here.
Yep. And yeah, so would you mind sharing with us like where you are right now?
So funny story, yeah. I was originally planned to be at home right now to do this interview, but I'm actually at a modeling convention in Kentucky. It's not so much a modeling convention as much as it's more of a sci-fi and fantasy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Comic-Con, but more focused on like modeling and like creators and like prop makers and stuff like that. It's my first time here. It's called Wonderfest. Here in Louisville, Kentucky. So, but they do have a modeling competition here called the Amazing Model Contest, where you could basically enter up to 10 models, have your own little spot at a table, and then it's displayed, and people can walk around and look at your work, and then by the end of it, you get like awards or merits based on like your level of work, which is like, it could be like a gold, silver, bronze, but yeah.
Did you
never done anything like this before, so we'll see how it goes.
Hell
yeah. Dude, how many entries do you have in this competition?
I brought 10, so about I want to say 7 Gunplas and then one Macross kit, a 148 Macross plane, and then what else? Mega Man Zero model kit from Eastern Model. I don't know if you know what that is. It's yeah, Mega Man.
This one.
And what else did I bring? And an SD Gundam. Yes, that exact one I brought with me.
Nice.
Yep.
Wait, this Zero is modded?
Oh yeah, it's a model. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
that's painted. Yeah, it's from
painted.
What's the company that makes it? Eastern Model.
Models,
Yeah. A lot of people ask me if it's like the Kotobukiya one, and it's I know that one's like a little bit different, but same game.
I think the Eastern Model is more detailed than the Kotobukiya one. I think
That's what I've noticed. Yeah, that's what people were telling me. The Kotobukiya one's a little more softer on the details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more expensive.
Oh yeah, and more expensive.
Oh, is it?
Kotobukiya does make nice stuff though.
But yeah, about you, Ralph, GP, Migs, how are you guys?
I just started hand painting.
Ooh, hand painting.
It's my first time, so yeah, make mistakes, enjoying the experience.
Well,
and sniffing the thinner.
not
Yeah.
don't do that, guys. Don't do that.
Are you hand painting with lacquers?
Acrylics and
Acrylics, okay.
Yeah, it's Armored Komodo acrylics. Hell yeah!
Oh, okay.
Armored Komodo.
Nice.
I'm kidding. And uh, I was using water to tin it, but Armored Komodo does have tinners and flow improver. Is that the right word?
Mm,
Flow
okay.
improver. So
Like an acrylic.
a
Yeah.
few drops of that, then it'll be it gives that milky consistency. Everyone
Slows that
likes.
drying. Slows the drying time too with the flow improver a little bit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
How about
Oh,
you?
and this guy
Yeah.
just built the what's the word? Zigok Amazing.
Yeah, the
Mm,
amazing Sega.
yeah.
Oh, build
Easy.
fighters. Yeah. That's a cool one.
He was able to share it last episode for you guys. If you guys want to see that, check out last episode. How about you,
It has
Migs?
Sorry about that. I had to turn off my camera. My delivery came in.
No worries. Oh, look at you. God.
I'm hungry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
don't worry, don't worry. It's all right. Just eat your heart out.
So is that with some fries, some McDonald's?
Yeah, McDonald's fries.
What did you get? What did you get?
Awesome.
What did you
Sponsor us, McDonald's.
get? What did you get?
No Jollibee? No Jollibee? Did they deliver Jollibee over there? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but I dig the McDonald's fries better.
Oh yeah.
That's fair.
You guys
That's
got
fair.
Jollibee there?
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, a
You do?
couple locations. They're not like everywhere, but like there's a couple locations.
You tried it?
Yeah.
Jollibee's mobile. Yeah.
So a surprise though.
Have you tried it?
Yeah,
I
there's a
heard-
couple. I love Jollibee. It's
Oh.
good. There's the chicken is like comparable to. I hate to say it, but it's like it's a little bit comparable to like KFC, a little bit, but maybe a little better. Maybe a little better. I
Oh.
feel like KFC is more
Dude.
greasy.
Oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, it's a bit. I think it's a bit different there because here Jollibee's chicken is more comparable
God
to
tier.
McDonald's, right?
Oh yeah, because you guys had you got
Dude,
like you can
come
get like
on,
chicken
man.
drumsticks at McDonald's over there. That's
Oh
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude,
The
come
menu's
on,
a little
man.
different.
Yeah.
McDonald's chicken is shit.
But their fries are good. Their fries and burgers.
The fries are good. I
Yeah.
have it. I have it right now, man.
Okay, Fritz, visit the Philippines and we will treat you to Jollibee.
And then leave.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Always down for eat. Let's do it.
All right. But before we start the interview, let's first get to our first segment of the show. This week's breaking news. Shout out to Justin for sending the news for this week. Right.
Breaking.
Okay, breaking news. Bandai Hobby site is set to unveil a brand new wave of plastic model kits scheduled for release in fall through winter 2025. The official announcements will go live on Thursday, June 5, 2025. The Bandai Hobby Center Plamo Design Industrial Institute is set to open on Tuesday, September 2, 2025 in Shizuoka City, Japan, the plastic model capital of the world. This new museum delivers an immersive hands-on journey into the world of plastic model design and manufacturing. The brand new spin-off manga series Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch of Mercury Frontier of Youth officially begins serialization on May 23rd, exclusive on Comic New Time.
Ooh.
G-Quox Genkai Topa Limit Break figure hits Japan's arcade starting May 27. The dynamic figure towers at an impressive 28 centimeters. Director Yoshiyuki Tomino, the legendary mind who envisioned a future shaped by space colonization, will be joining the Space Tide 2025 Space Business Conference to share his thoughts on turning science fiction into reality. His groundbreaking session questioning the possibility of realizing the universal century and the value of space business will be held on Tuesday, July 8, 2025. And from Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2's page, the full armor ground type Zeta Gundam joins the supply drop. This heavy armed variant of the Zeta Gundam is now available. And the RX-78 2 Gundam and Charles Zaku get a Hatsune Miku makeover, available in both standard and clear color variations. These Gachapon figures will be available for a limited time through the official Bandai Namco Gachapon online stores, priced at 1,500 yen. And from Mobile Suit Gundam G-Quox, the Harrow-shaped speaker, releasing Tuesday, June 24, 2025 through participating arcades and game centers across Japan. Justin added a note. He says that he's looking forward to this and wants this. And straight from Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch of Mercury, Vanadis Heart, the Gundam Naion is set to enter the high-grade 144 Gunpla lineup as a premium Bandai exclusive, priced at 3,300 yen. And we got some P Bandai releases. This is the HG1444 Gundam Zilius, set to be released on July, priced at 2,970 yen. We finally now have a close-up picture. And we have an HG Zaku set to be released on 2025. This is the G-Quox version, priced at 2,420 yen. And we have the HG UC Mobile Worker Med, originally appearing in Char's Counterattack, releasing in August 2025, priced at 2,200 yen. And that's this week's breaking news.
Ooh.
Guys, thoughts? Anything that you're looking forward to on the announcements? Or anything that's...
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
That mobile worker.
Yeah.
This one?
Those are so cool. Yo, it's so cool. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Simon Lamb's entry. The winner, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was incredible.
Is it the same or?
That's a little bit different because I think it's like the unicorn version, right? Yeah, like the one from the like original, the first episode of Unicorn.
Yeah.
It's like slightly, but it's the same kind of thing.
I think it's more similar to the one at the back. Like Simon's.
Yes, it's like short. It's like a little bit chunkier arms.
Yeah. Imagine like straight scratch building that before this even released. It's crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I wouldn't even know how to add that.
A lot of people did that, and then when the actual kit gets announced that it will have an actual kit, man, they just stop scratch building.
Just like what they did with the Amazing Zigok, right? Or the Zigok from Seed. Yeah. So they actually.
Oh, the one with the Gundam inside it,
People are scratch building that, right? And then when it got announced, well, what? Why?
I know a guy who did a custom, did the MG Grimgird, the one with the sight in IBO, and then the next year after he built that, it got a release. It was so funny.
Not surprised.
You got Bandai lurking, like, no, this looks good. We should make this. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, then we have the Witch from Mercury spin-off. I'm not sure, like, if the Nyan is from this particular series, but it's interesting that it's gonna have a spin-off. I think it's gonna be a continuation. Is it? I don't know.
No, Nyan's from Twice, man. Just kidding.
Alright, and then we have the Hatsune Miku RX-78 and Char Zaku. This one's interesting. I really like this. I hope this is released.
That's a Bluetooth speaker?
Yeah,
I need one.
Right? It's cool.
That new Haro is so cool. I want the beanie he has too. I think it was like a premium Bandai item too.
Yeah.
Like the actual apparel. It's wild.
Are you?
Then you have to knit it yourself.
It's like next level Plamo, right? They just give you the yarn and.
In Bandai fashion, when they give you an apparel, you knit it yourself. You
imagine
they just give you a ball of yarn.
Yeah. Do you
it's like learn?
Do you watch G-Quox, Fritz?
I'm caught up to episode 8. I believe is the latest episode, right?
Yeah, it is. It is the latest episode. Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about spoilers or anything here?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. That guy got deleted. I had to pause it and wait, what happened? What just happened? Like I thought I like blinked or something and missed something, and I was like, wait, what happened just now?
It?
Yeah, I rewinded it. I was like, oh no, he just got disintegrated. That's what happened. I was like, whoa!
Just faded like from the animation, like how they animated that. They just faded. Like what the fuck?
It almost felt like
it again.
It almost felt like a jump cut.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, yeah.
But yeah, how are you liking it so far?
I think it's pretty cool. I feel like it's really shaking up the kind of the Gundam show formula. You know, you kind of like every Gundam show kind of has its like oh yeah, it's like war is bad. This is the main storyline, which is like that's still there, but like doing this weird like alternate UC thing, and then shaking things up with also new characters and a little bit of Evangelion influence in there. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you like the design?
Mm-hmm.
At first, I wasn't like I'm not gonna lie. They kind of grew on me when I first saw the G-Quox itself. I was like, it's like an Ava Gundam thing. Then I wasn't like too crazy about it, but then when I started watching the show, I started seeing more of the designs. I was like, you know what? Kind of like it. I kind of like it. Especially Fred. I'm calling him Fred.
Oh, the new
Fred's
G-Quox?
nice. Yeah, Fred's cool.
Yeah. It even got the
G-Fred.
colors, right? The purple and green. Very
oh yeah, it's all there.
Yeah.
That whole scene was like a scene straight out of like the rebuild of Ava movies. I don't know if you've ever seen. It was like it's a scene right out of the first one where like Shinji first sees the Ava in the hangar. Yeah.
I'm not
like almost 1-to-1.
I should get on that. I still haven't started Eva. But yeah,
they're pretty good. Trippy.
And then yeah, we have I think this is the Nyan one, right?
No. That's 8.
I'm getting confused now. Oh yeah, this is the one from the manga. Yeah. Yeah, we finally get a closer look.
Zilius?
You guys like this design?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it.
Got like a it almost reminds me of like an Advance of Zeta kind of motif with the head.
Yeah.
Almost.
That's an interesting take. Usually
The
people say that
the backpack's kind of
reminds
interesting.
me.
It is, yeah.
These ones.
Are
What
those
am I
supposed to be
looking
like
at? Cycle plates?
are those like funnels or something?
Hmm.
Interesting. Oh,
Funnels or
Popsicles.
cycle plates? I'm not sure.
cycle plates.
This looks good. And then, of course, the Zaku from G-Quox. And yeah, that's it for this week's breaking news. Again, shout out to Justin. Thank you for compiling the news for this week. We're excited to have you back next week. All right. Yeah, that's for today's breaking news. All right. Now, on to the topic of the show. Of course, first, let's introduce our guest. We already introduced him. We already hear him talk. But let's hear it from the man himself. Fritz, tell us, what do you do and where can people find you?
My name is Fritz. I go by under the handle Plamomancer, which is kind of a mix-up of two kind of shorthand words, because Plamo is obviously the Japanese shorthand term for pla model or plastic model, and the Mancer part is like, someone who's good at a particular type of magic, so like necromancer, pyromancer. So Plamomancer,
A whiz in Plamo.
Yeah, the magic, Plamo magic. Let's call it that. That's kind of how I came up with it. Like, I thought it would be cool. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram under Plamomancer, also under TikTok under Plamomancer. Oh, actually, Instagram Plamomancer Studio, TikTok Plamomancer, and YouTube Plamomancer. I make videos on YouTube as well of my builds and a little bit of my process. Yep, that's me.
All right. Okay, let's get to know you first, Fritz. Right. So.
Oh yeah, sure.
Can you tell us how you got started and the Plamo hobby?
It's kind of a long story, but like I've been building models kind of since I was a kid. It's through my love of like super robot kind of anime, basically. Even before like Gundam, I think I remember the first anime I ever watched was like, let's backtrack. I have an older brother who's born in the '80s, so he's like 10 years older than me. So that's kind of how I got introduced to anime as a kid. One of the first things I watched, it was actually on VHS, was a super robot anime. I think it's a movie, or it's an OVA called Dangayo. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
Dangayo?
Kind of like a Dangayo, yeah. So it's kind of like I think it was made in the early 90s or late 80s, but it's a super robot anime, like, kind of resembles something like Power Rangers. I don't know if that makes any sense. Not quite Super Sentai like that, but similar. That's kind of how I got into anime, and then, over time I got introduced more and more to it, and eventually got introduced. There it is. That's the one. And eventually I got introduced to anime more and more growing up. You probably hear this a lot, but like in the 90s, a lot of kids growing up in the United States like got to like anime and Gundam through like Gundam Wing and stuff, like Toonami on Cartoon Network. Yeah, I certainly got into Gundam a little more after that. Gundam Wing kind of reignited. It's like, oh, what is this? And then we didn't really have models then yet in the 90s. That didn't really come until like much later. Like only a few retailers were kind of carrying like Gundam models. I think my first model I actually built was like one of the Wing Gundam models from like back in the day. It wasn't even like a master grade or anything. I think it was just a 1/100 scale. Like it wasn't even there was no grade on it. It was just a 1/100 scale. I think they called them high grades at that point, but they weren't 1/44. I remember that much. And then eventually I got more and more into it. Yeah, and ever since then I just got more and more interested into it. What kind of pushed me into more the modeling, scale modeling hobby was like, obviously you buy these model kits, you look at them, they have nice box art on them. Professionals who build the models, you look at it, you're like, wow, that looks so great. You build your model out of the box, put the stickers on, and you're like, wait a minute, why doesn't mine look like that? So that's how I kind of just started going down the rabbit hole. It's like, how do I get my model to look like the professional looking ones on the box? That's sort of where I started going down. It's like, oh, so they paint them. Oh, yeah.
Can you still remember the first custom Gunpla that you made?
Yes, actually, it wasn't that very long ago. I didn't really start painting Gunplas, like fully airbrushing, like full painted builds until like, I want to say around 2017. The first fully painted one I did was actually the old master grade, the Gundam Mark II with the G Defensor, the 1.0 Gundam Mark II. This is that Super Gundam model kit. So it's the one that comes with, the G Defensor like in the box. So that was the first fully painted one. But when I was younger, I kind of experimented with, like panel lining with Gundam markers, stuff like that. Indie ink pens, spray can top coats. But full custom, it had to be that Gundam Mark II. So straight into master grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go to the grade that you like.
Yeah, pretty much. I would recommend that to anybody getting into the hobby for the first time. Just find something cool. It looks cool to me. Just go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, go for the build.
Yeah, exactly. But that was kind of my first foray, and from then it kind of sparked more and more interest in just scale modeling in general. Because I don't know if you noticed, my name's not. There's no Gunpla in my name. Because I like modeling in general. I don't want to be limited to just Gunpla. Gunpla is certainly like my favorite, one of my favorites. But I have a lot of interest in other things too, like, aircraft, other super robot, anime, Warhammer, miniatures, Macross. Yeah, so I want to be able to be more broad with the hobby,
Same, dude.
So you've did you start painting with miniatures first before Gunplas, or?
Oh no, the other way around. I started with Gunpla was like the first kind of model that I ever made.
Oh,
customized.
That's cool.
Miniatures, I only started, I think, like I want to say a little bit over 2 years ago, maybe longer, maybe 3 years ago, and it was just straight into Warhammer. But I don't know if it counts. But the first miniatures I really painted were like the little pilot figures that come with Gunpla. Some of the master grades, have those little. So I guess that really is kind of where I started painting miniatures. That's kind of got me more interested in hand painting and stuff. Like I said, you look through the manual, you look through the box art, it's like, why doesn't mine look like that? That's like
Why does mine look like shit?
Why does mine look like? Why does mine look like duty? How do I paint it like that? Exactly. You just go down the rabbit hole. Like I said, I had an older brother who was very much like an otaku. I would consider like an early otaku. I guess they call it weeb now. I don't know really what the terminology is nowadays, but like. Yeah, he was the guy who basically influenced me to, he took me to conventions, anime conventions, watched like a lot of OVAs and animes on VHS. He was a super avid collector of anime figures, model kits, especially Gunpla. And that's where it kind of like, I used to annoy him as a kid. It's like, when are we going to that store again so I can look at the Gunpla and stuff? So, yeah, definitely started young with the hobby.
Yeah, it's like
Man.
Go ahead, Mix.
Sorry. I just want to say to Fritz that we went through the same path. Like I started with Gunpla first, then I started to dabble in miniatures and other other mediums. What you might say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you start to notice that like once you've been building models a little bit long enough and kind of studying the processes, you start to notice that like a lot of stuff kind of carries over, like the same technique.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and you could use things vice versa. Like there's things I've learned from learning from miniature painters and gunpla modelers that kind of like I can carry to both mediums, which
Yeah,
is cool
exactly.
because like you're just expanding your skill set, which is nice.
Hmm.
You don't have to be tied to like traditional like this is how you should paint a miniature. Like you can paint a miniature like how you would paint a gunpla, and you can paint a gunpla how you would paint a miniature. It's like
Yeah, that's
there's no like set rule. Whatever you like, kind of aesthetic you want. So
yeah, that's a
which
pretty good take, man.
Mm.
Yeah.
that's honestly always been my take because I feel like they're all you're at the end you're still painting a model. You're still trying to
Hmm.
get like an aesthetic you like, unless you're trying to go for a certain thing for a competition. Then it's like So for me, it's about freedom. Don't let freedom, right? Is that what they say?
Yeah, yeah. Cutlass freedom. Exactly. All right. So let's speak into your creative process and techniques, right? So we have Migs here who prepared some questions regarding, your painting process.
Absolutely.
Go ahead,
All right.
Migs.
So, um, I've been looking at your catalog, right? So
Mm,
I want to know, some of your style is, well, it's very new to me because I haven't really focused on the painting part yet. Right.
mhm,
Just the latter part of last year and early this year.
mhm.
So I just want to know, who are your major influences when it comes to painting gunpla and minis?
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit okay. It kind of started with when I first started getting. Well, let's start here. When I first started getting into painting models, I started with Gunpla. Um, and a lot of my early influences are actually Japanese modelers from hobby magazines. So I think I mentioned before my brother was a avid like otaku, weeb, whatever you could say, collector.
Mm-hmm.
So he would buy a lot of Japanese hobby magazines like Dengeki Hobby, Hobby Japan. He'd bring those home, and even though I don't know how to read Japanese, you can kind of look at them and see like, oh, so they're like airbrush this. And that's kind of where it started. But I see a lot of modelers like Naoki,
Mm.
like Max Watanabe, stuff like that. So more of the traditional like Japanese scale modelers is kind of where it started. But what really pushed me into like what really influenced my technique is just going down the rabbit hole of YouTube. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of funny because like back in the earlier days of YouTube, I want to say like 2010s,
Mm-hmm.
maybe there wasn't much like Gunpla scale modeling stuff on
No,
YouTube.
no, no.
No, you'd
No,
look and
there.
there'd be like four guys who did Gunpla content. One of the guys that I watched a lot was Vegeta8259. He doesn't really make videos anymore. Um, he kind of just, I think he's like on a hiatus or something. But I've learned a lot of the processes of starting how to airbrush and stuff from him.
Mm.
And what else comes to mind? Have you guys ever heard of Plamos Glue?
Was that Plamo?
Pla-
It's called Plamos Glue. So it's a Japanese like TV show about building models. Some of the episodes are on YouTube, but that's kind of what comes down to. Oh wow, like this process can be more involved. It's like that's when I first started seeing like like they prime them, they send you a whole bunch of sanding. There's all these
Oh.
cool things you can do like candy coating, like
Mm.
um yeah, it was through. I don't know if it was like through a hobby magazine, but somebody ripped all these DVDs and put them on YouTube for a while. So that like for a long time, that was like my only source of knowledge and how to like learn these things.
This one?
Um, yes, that's it.
Oh,
That's
I
that.
see.
I've probably seen. I used to fall asleep to these like every night just to knock out like every day after work. I used to work a night shift job and just put these on YouTube on my TV and just you
Oh,
don't
damn.
understand that. But you kind of see, um, yeah,
Uh,
you know,
Uh,
like it's
yeah,
almost
Fritz, you're
like
kind of cutting off. I think.
is it?
your mic okay? Hello? Wait, let me adjust the volume.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I see my mic fell. I'm sorry. Here, I'll hold it. Yeah, but Plamos Sakuru, that's the show.
Yeah.
That is, to me, that's the secret sauce. So kind of a long-winded answer to your question, but that's where the magic started for me. Like seeing these Japanese modelers, they're because these are guys who are professionals. They're featured in these are the dudes who are featured in magazines and stuff. Like it's wild because it's like you watch this style, this editing style. It's almost like a TV show, like a reality TV show. How they do it.
Man,
did this inspire your YouTube content as well?
Absolutely. A lot of it comes from that. And there's like, because like YouTube content for like Gunpla and modeling didn't really start blowing up a little more until
pandemic.
I don't know. Pandemic. A little bit before that too. Even there were some videos starting to come up more. But I think it really started after, like around the pandemic. I want to say like 2016, 2017 is kind of was going down the rabbit hole and seeing more modelers. Now it's like everywhere. You can find tons of videos of people guiding you through their process and going through it. So it's nice. I feel like we're really spoiled for choice now when you're looking for like painting knowledge and.
So right now, who do you watch when you want to see like new painting techniques or building techniques?
Oh.
Sorry, Fritz. I think you're on mute. Oh.
No, I think the mic got off.
Yeah, I think the mic cut off. Sorry about that. But yeah, we can see here. This is Plamomancer's YouTube channel, as you can see here. So, if you guys want to check this out, yeah, he's got like several videos. Yeah, it's still no. Yeah.
Oh, there's a Nicaragua.
Yeah.
He has 7 videos, but he has 5K followers already.
Yeah.
Nicaragua.
Yeah, it's still cut off. Sorry, Fritz.
Subscribe, bro.
Oh yeah, subscribe. There we go.
I'm gonna subscribe too.
Yeah.
Boom, subscribe.
So as you can see, he does not only just cover Gunpla models. He also does like.
Yeah, I saw he has the Ikaruga Modoroid figure. That's really good. Yeah.
Still nothing?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
There we go.
Hey. You're back.
That was weird. Sorry, a little technical difficulties.
It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
I was just saying I saw that you have the Ikaruga Modoroid figure.
Oh yeah.
Kit?
Yeah.
It is a model kit, yeah. It's from Modoroid, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was actually a commission for a friend of mine.
Ooh.
Oh, you do commissions?
Yeah, so yeah, it's like I always tell people that it's so not often, just because I get now with YouTube, I'm a little more busy with my I guess schedule. I'm trying to get out here more doing competitions. Like here I am with this painting of a horse behind me in this hotel room. Very strange.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought you were at Denny's or something.
Denny Waffle House.
I want this kit.
Yeah. But yeah, let's going back to the question, Fritz. Like, if you could, aside from yourself, of course, if you could recommend someone who you watch when you want to see more, what do you call that? Tips on painting and building.
Tips on painting and building. It's kind of old, but like I really like Henry McClellan, Vegeta 8259. And I mean this in a endearing way. They're not the highest quality production value videos, but there's so much good knowledge there on like painting and stuff. He has a lot of good. They're kind of older videos, but Vegeta 8259 is great. On terms of like yeah, for learning stuff, that's a great place to start because there he is, great stuff.
Yep.
He has like really old like airbrushing videos, but that's kind of where I started more because he explains it in a really simple way to get started. There's also what else do I watch? Yeah, most of the videos I watch now are just like honestly Japanese modelers. Like they're not really explaining, but they're showing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Henry's channel is a good place to start, though. I would say, highly recommend that.
And of course, you have Plamomancer on YouTube. So
or you could watch me.
Yeah.
I have some videos too,
and on TikTok as well. He doesn't. You don't just. I can see here. You don't just do builds. You also do reviews on paints and tools as well. Yeah.
I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do a little more, but that's the plan. I want to get a little more tutorials out there to share, give back to the community. Who's taught me.
How about Fritz? How about when it comes to painting minis? Who's your influence?
That's a very good question. It all started with the man Duncan Rhodes. Do you know who that is?
Oh, Duncan Rhodes.
Duncan Rhodes. So he used to work for Games Workshop and do all the painting videos for Warhammer. Some call him like the Bob Ross of painting miniatures. He still does videos today, but he kind of has his own thing now.
Is he the one that does the box art for Warhammer?
I believe one of them. He was one of them. Yeah, he doesn't work for them anymore.
Oh,
yeah. Because there's like a number of artists who they commission to do those photos of the box pictures of the finished models. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, he used to do them, but now he's kind of gone off and he's doing his own thing now. It's called Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy. So that's kind of where it started. But there's like it's kind of crazy because like miniature painting, it's like a whole different beast. There's so much like different, like coming from Gunpla to going into miniatures. You find that there's a lot of cool like techniques that you don't really see Gunpla builders explain or do that often because like mostly everything's like acrylic. I feel like a good majority of like Gunpla modders, we like to work with like pretty corrosive paints like lacquers and enamels and stuff like that, and then acrylics is kind of like an afterthought. And obviously the main reason for that is because of like Gunpla is meant to be posable. They're kind of like, in a way, they have that action figure element where there's gimmicks, there's stuff that opens, there's arms that move and stuff. Whereas like miniatures are kind of like they're static models, right? You can't really pose them. So that's why you don't really need the durability of like lacquer. It's more of like acrylic is all you really need if you think about it. I mean, they are game pieces too if you're playing Warhammer, but at most you're like holding it and moving it to the objective. I don't know. I don't play the game. I just like painting the things.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I'm very much like I'm very much into the hobby side of Warhammer. Learning the game it's almost like a whole nother thing on its own,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and it costs. It's a very expensive hobby when you're gaming, but when you're just doing the painting stuff, it's pretty cheap. But if you're gonna play the actual game, it's gonna cost you a lot.
Because you're gonna have to buy like whole armies, right? If you're gonna play the game. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I think it's like a certain points requirement, depending how large or long your game. There's like, I don't know. Kind of like the worst guy to ask when it comes to playing the game itself.
So I've noticed in your painting scheme with your Gunpla is like the last build I saw from you was the one featured where you painted the MG God Gundam.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like the painting technique on that. What painting style do you call that?
It's kind of like a combination of things I've kind of taken a liking to, I guess you could say. You're talking about just like the visual style, basically.
Visual style.
Like the shading and stuff. It's kind of the styles I've just kind of picked up from watching good old Plamos Sakuru back in the day. Those old modding shows. pretty classic like gunpla techniques in there. So like to get the shading, for example, I kind of do I wouldn't say it's a hack method, but like there's like, because there's like pre-shading, there's post-shading, and then there's like I guess you can call it, what I do is like post-highlighting.
Oh.
So like, for example, on the white armor, I'll do the whole piece like blue first, right? And then fill in all the highlights with white, and then blend in the shadows. And that's kind of the methodology for pretty much all the colors if I want shading. I don't know I don't know what I would call it. I guess I sort of something I adapted from just all the videos and stuff I consume, and
Okay, let's just call it Plamomancer style.
something like that. Yeah, I'd call it something I've just kind of picked up, I guess. Yeah, Plamomancer style. Sure.
Or the Fritz shuffle. Just kidding. Yeah, so when you mentioned that you use blue as the shadow, that's kind of like getting from the Warhammer, the miniature painting side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because,
You can see it's really subtle, especially on the
yeah,
the backpack section. Like there is a little hint of a blue there.
yeah, I really love the part in the chest part where that's shading,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It started with, what did I start with? I think it's cobalt blue from Mr. Hobby. First, like you cover my technique is cover the whole piece with a darker color first. So let's say I want to shade this blue. It's a dark blue, cobalt blue, and then to get the highlights in, you spray the wider areas with, what was that? Gaia Notes Nazca Million Blue. So it's like kind of a more powdery blue, I would say. Lighter. Well, it's a lighter blue, basically. So dark. I just use that technique: darker color, lighter color. But kind of influencing. You always got to remember, like, whatever. This is kind of something you learn from painting miniatures too. It's like the undercoat or the whatever color you spray underneath is gonna affect your next layer.
Yeah, that's true.
So like things like color temperature, cool colors, warm colors. Like one thing I learned is it looks really nice. So if you want to do shading on red parts, do like maybe a dark brown first, then do your highlights with the red that you want. So you can get that subtle shading, and the more you blend it in is like totally up to you. That's kind of where you get to, I call it, that's where you get to be the artist. How subtle do you want that shading? I feel like I like it pretty subtle, but
Yeah. Yeah, though the style you're applying to the shading is, I like it, but actually this is one of the few shaded gunplas that I really like, because
oh, thank you.
yeah, I really love the shading on this. It's really subtle, but it's subtle and it's not, because you can really see the shading.
That's the tricky part with shading, because not to knock anyone else's style, but like, sometimes I see shading done by other modelers, and like I'm like, man, it's like a little too shadowy or a little too stark for me.
True.
Sometimes I see that, I'm like, that's just too much. Or they use the really dark black and then they sprayed white over it and they didn't blend it in enough, and I feel like that's fine if you like it, like, not to knock anyone else's style, but me, I try to keep things more in the subtle side. I want to, the kind of thing that I keep in mind, my like kind of rule of thumb is like, you want to add visual interest, but you don't want to make it like look kind of jarring to the eye, if that makes sense. Yeah. You just want to add a little pizzazz in there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very easy on the eyes, because when it comes to shading, I haven't tried shading yet using the air. I haven't tried shading it with Gunpla. But the usual techniques that I see is the pre-shading. Usually, it's almost always pre-shading, and it's kind of it's. I don't know how to say this, but it's super
Tedious.
Tedious, and it looks kind of dirty to me when you use the black. It's a bit dirty for my taste.
So yeah, I would say, just to add to that, when I'm going to pick color schemes, like I try to stay away from using pure black or pure white as the color. You know what I mean? You always want a little more of another color in there. Like this RX-78 we're looking at right now, like same kind of technique. I actually don't do any pre-shading. The way I do it is like, I guess you could, I don't know if there's the right term for it, but I call it post highlighting. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Plamo
So like a
shading.
Plamo shade. Sure,
Plamo-
sure, sure.
Plamomancer shading.
Yeah, where it's like I find it's just easier. Maybe it wastes a little more paint, right? But I like the results I get because you get a little more of a subtle gradient between you get subtle, not great transitions. You get more subtle transitions between the two colors that you use, your darker and your lighter color. And it's cool because like you can throw in as many colors as you want in there. That's kind of a trick I learned from like watching Japanese modelers again. Like I'll give you another example, like yellow, right? Bright color. I feel like yellow is a tricky one to work with because you want things to read as yellow, but like I like things to be in more on the orangey side.
Yeah.
So getting that
same.
gradient to be vibrant and pop out is like there's a whole technique to that too, you know. Like whatever is gonna be your base color, like you want to use a pink surfacer, then go to like a bright red, then like a middle orange, then your brightest highlights with like a really light yellow. So you get that nice gradient. So it's like that. You can employ that technique to pretty much any color if you kind of understand, even at like the base level, like what kind of colors work in harmony with each other. Not to get too technical, but you know, it's like it's just just understanding warm and cool temperatures. I think I tend to favor more on the cooler side when it comes to like white armor on Gunpla, but when it's like reds, yellows, browns, you know, warmer, I feel like really looks good.
I'm gonna pass you over to Roy because I think if we continue talking about colors,
Oh yeah, I can do this all day, man. I can do this all day.
We're gonna talk more.
I love talking painting. It's great.
Wait. Let's
Yeah,
one last about colors, right? So we can see here, right? So you have this SD. So this is the original color, and then you painted it into a more black, dark colorway, right? So I just want to ask you, like, how do you plan your color schemes for your builds? Like, do you sketch it first? Do you have what's your process in like basically your creative process in how you envision your what do you call it?
That's a really great question because the best way I could answer that is it depends. It depends, right? So with this one in particular, this was kind of one of those projects where I was like, you know, it's an SD. I want to have fun with it. Like, I want to do something crazy, you know. So I was like, let's just make this an insane color scheme. So I was looking at influences. I saw the greatsword. I'm like, okay, Berserk, guts, Berserker armor. That's kind of the motif I was going for with this. It kind of was just like winging it basically for this particular one. But with projects like the God Gundam, for example, like, funny enough, the God Gundam, that's a commission as well. It's actually for one of my that's for one of my family members. He asked me to do it for him, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it, no problem. He kind of told me like, I kind of want like the models like in a hobby magazine, like the style you usually paint like your other master grades. I was like, got you. So that's kind of how I plan it. It's like, not to give you a long-winded answer, but to plan my builds, it's basically like, whenever I start any project, it's like, what are my goals, right? Like visually, like what end result am I trying to achieve? Am I looking for a shaded kind of look like that, or do I want something like a candy coat, high gloss, high metallic? It just kind of depends what your visual goals are, right? Sometimes if it's a commission, it's like whatever the client wants to tell me what they want, or maybe if I just feel like doing it at candy coat, or I really want a high gloss finish. Planning it. As far as planning that, it's like, once you have your goals set when you're doing a project, then you kind of know where to go from there, you know? One thing I will say I do is do a lot of tests as well. The almighty plastic spoon is your best friend when testing theories. And just like looking honestly at other modelers, you know, pulling from my influences. I think I mentioned like Naoki earlier, like Max Watanabe. He's really good. Setting goals and just setting a particular goal, a specific goal with each project, I think is really important to me. right? Like having the ability to tell yourself, I want to try something new on this build. I think that's another thing too. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
Yep. It is. All right. So, yeah. How about you, GP? Any questions about Plamomancer style?
Before that, I'm curious about Naoki though. He likes the color black, right? Like most of
He
his
does.
builds are kind of dark.
He paints some pretty dark colors.
Yeah, he loves edgy. That's what I've noticed.
Or
Okay,
he,
so
he doesn't like
next
the
question
panel
is.
line.
Oh. So, which of your is the God Gundam your latest work? Just curious.
Latest. Yes, yeah, latest. I'm working on something right now for little old small competition called GBWC. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
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 What's
Speaking
that
of,
competition? Are we joining that?
The Jolly Bee World Cup.
but
JB.
is the
Chicken
God
Chicken
Gundam
Joy.
like your finished work that you think you've expressed yourself most with?
I think so too. I would say that's closest to like my. I feel like that's a great question. Actually, that's a great question. It's closest to like what I would consider my kind of visual style. Like I painted it definitely like how I would paint it for myself. Like let's say I were to buy it, let's say that wasn't a commission and that God Gundam was for me. I probably would have ended up painting it pretty much the same or similar.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a really cool kit to work on. Interesting though, like some of that master grade also comes with a Domon Kashu figure. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah. Some of those master grades come. I don't know if you are familiar, but some master grades and some Gunpla kits came with these 1/20th figurines.
Yeah.
That one in particular comes with the Domon.
Yeah.
I
I
wanna
think the
get
Goof
one.
one has one too, right? The Goof with the Gatling gun has that kind of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one has Norris. I think the Ball has Shiro, or is that the EZ8? One of them has Shiro Amada from 8th MS team. I think the Master Gundam is like Master Asia or something like that. Yeah, so much fun. That's when learning Warhammer painting has come in handy for those for sure.
Oh. Well, speaking of Warhammer, so Gundam and Warhammer, when you build Gundam and Warhammer, do you build them differently in terms of design and techniques, or?
Yeah, pretty much. So like, yeah, like I guess I approach painting miniatures like how a miniature painter would, where it's like
Right.
you kind of that's mainly due to me just kind of I would still say that I'm like learning miniature painting the traditional way. I don't really know how to word it other than that, like, but this is the general like miniature painter technique where you base coat the model and then you build up highlights and stuff like that. You do washes and stuff, Normally you wouldn't do something like that on a Gunpla, like.
True.
Yeah, it's like wild, mainly because like you also have to think about scale. Miniatures are like they're game pieces, right? So the techniques that employed are like they're meant to be viewed at like kind of this distance from your face, right? Because they're meant to be on a tabletop. Like most people are gonna grab miniatures, they're not gonna be looking at it like this.
Yeah.
So it's like there's only so much detail you can pack in there, yet you can, which I think is kind of insane, So yeah, like generally when I do want to try trying more miniature stuff on Gunpla, which I've kind of been doing. Like the God Gundam, for example, a lot of the like smaller details, like the black stripes, the inside of the thrusters, like I just painted that by hand with acrylics.
Oh.
And
Nice.
since it's a lacquer underneath, you can clean up the acrylic pretty easily. While it's still wet. Yeah, a little bit of reverse wash in there. It's a little bit different from working with like oils or enamels because some acrylics when they dry get pretty tough, so you got to be kind of quick, I guess.
True.
So it's a little bit different, but yeah, you definitely could do stuff like that.
Okay, nice. Okay. Next is, Okay, what painting or custom technique you wish more people would like to learn?
Would like to learn. I guess weathering. Like I've done. I only say that mainly because weathering is not something I usually do myself, and I'm also kind of a student in it as well. So I like seeing. I'd like to see weathering more because I feel like the trend now with for what I've seen with most Gunpla modelers is like build super panel lined, highly color separated,
Very clean.
like kind of pieces. Very clean, yeah, very clean. Lots of panel line separation, like 4 different colors of white for white armor. Like there's like 6 different grays on there. Like which is great. I love that style. That style has a place, like definitely where I like, wow, that looks amazing, and I love that, like the way that looks. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's the old head kind of influence that I look at, where it's like I used to when I looked at these hobby magazines and watched Plamos Sakura, it's like I tend to favor the more simplistic, just nicely shadowed kits with subtle weathering, subtle shading. Like that's what I tend to favor. So I wish more builders now would trend towards that a little more. But I have a little bit of a bias there since that's the style I like a little more, and that's the style I tend to employ. I definitely do like scribing and making detailed stuff too. It's just it just takes more time, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
When the hobby that already takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
You're just gonna add more steps to it.
So weathering, more weathering, but simple weathering, shading. I like that. I love that stuff.
So you haven't done any builds like destroying the whole arm or heavily weathering it? No builds
Not
like that?
not really. There was like there was an early attempt at weathering I did. I don't know if I have a picture on my Instagram now, but I did a Gundam Mark II Titans that I did chipping, weathering, but it the best way I could describe it was too much.
Too much.
Too much chipping, like just so much dry brushing, like you can the weathering doesn't really look like it sells real weathering, you know what I mean? It's just looks like I slapped it with dry brushing everywhere. So the only thing close I could think of that's like where I've done some weathering but still kind of subtle is that RX-782 we were looking at earlier, that entry grade. There's like some weather. Yeah, so like that's kind of what I like is we're just subtle chipping, some streaking, some oil streaks here and there. Because like it's really easy to do a lot and then go overboard, and it's harder to take away weathering.
Right.
Because you can always add, right? You can always add more weathering, but you can't remove once you've added too much. So yeah.
And subtle weathering kind of gives a lot more story because
yeah. I'm starting to learn that a little more. Like I said, I'm kind of still a student when it comes to like weathering stuff. But I find that the best kind of builds are the ones that kind of tell a story. It's like, where is this mobile suit at? Why does it have streaks in these areas? Like, why would it have this color chipping? Like it wouldn't make sense for a mobile suit that's mainly in space to have rust. There's no moisture in space, right? You'd probably see chipping or burn marks, but you wouldn't see rust.
You're right.
Right? But if you're something like the Gundam ground type or the EZ8, like you're gonna see rust, you're gonna see oil streaks, you're gonna see like chipping, you're gonna see maybe like moss growing from being in the jungle and stuff like that. So it's like you gotta think about stuff, you gotta think about its story, where it's at,
what it's been through and stuff.
What it's been through, how many battles it's been in.
You're right. I've seen this GBWC entry. It has a ton of rust in space.
Yeah. The Philippines.
Yeah, the Philippine entry, and it placed, right? I think it placed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won. It won in the
It won?
Philippines. Yeah, dude.
You guys need to watch Plamomancer. Get your head in a game.
We're mancing all the Plamos today.
You're just
Speaking of
dancing all the time.
dioramas, I wanted this episode to have a separate segment about your entry for GBWC. It really caught my eye when I did some research about your stuff. Uh, so if I'm right, your GBWC entry, Wielder of the Moonlight,
Mhm.
that's your first time building a diorama, right?
Very first built diorama ever. Yeah.
So
First
it's
GBWC.
yeah, it's really amazing. Can you tell me what was the experience like? Could you walk us through the process, especially like
Man.
from the eye, essentially. I mean, basically, you're going through it blind, right? You don't have that much experience. Could you walk us through your
Yeah.
process?
It was stressful. I winged it. 100%. I winged most of it. I had I wouldn't say 100% winged it. Like there was when I was going into deciding what I wanted to make, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do GBWC, I want to make a diorama, but of what? You know, that was the tough part about it. Like figuring out what I wanted to do, as far as like the theme, and like I had never built a diorama before, so I had no idea how to work with XPS foam, how to cut it. So a lot of I did what I always did when I didn't know anything. I just did a lot of research on like diorama builders. One of the main things I watched was like model railroad diorama makers. Channels like Luke Towen on YouTube. He does a lot of like HO scale like railroad stuff where he builds like cult landscapes and stuff. But I was like, I want mine to be kind of otherworldly, like a fantasy element. So one of my main inspirations for this was Dark Souls.
Yeah.
So do you know who Seath the Scaleless is? The dragon from Dark Souls? This whole diorama is basically based around that boss fight where you fight him in that crystal cavern area.
In the cave?
Yeah. It's like a cave with like crystals all around. I was kind of going for that, but the
I forgot
crystals
his name.
Seath the Scaleless, the dragon.
The Scaleless.
Yeah, so that's what I was kind of going for as far as the landscape. I wanted this like otherworldly, like moonlit, like
Right.
crystallized looking thing. That ended up, yeah, exactly. That was my direct inspiration for this. But you know what? It ended up looking too blue. In my opinion, my diorama. One of the pitfalls too, I think I fell into was like the background I put into the diorama, that Starry Night backdrop. Which is a cool concept, right? But when judges are looking at dioramas, I think having a section of your diorama closed off probably is not a great move, right? Because you can only view the diorama from one angle. If you were to go behind my diorama, it's like completely black. You can't look at it, You have to view it from the front. So what I'm learning now is, especially now with my current GBWC I'm working on, is like try to make it viewable from multiple angles. You want to tell a story versus, because for me, when I was done, I looked at it, I was like, I'm proud of this work, right? But I look at it, I'm like, I can see like kind of the pitfalls. One of the things was like, this is more like a fancy base for my Gunpla, as in terms of than it is telling a story, right? Now that's my personal critique. You can definitely see the Dark Souls influence, like the Moonlight Greatsword was 3D printed for me, actually, from a friend. That's the actual Moonlight Greatsword that you get from that boss fight. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is. The moon has a light bulb inside. It actually does light up, and that was 3D printed as well. A friend had that 3D printed for me, but that just plugs into like a wall outlet, and yeah.
Okay.
It's really it's really
That's
great.
the two main takeaways. It was stressful. I had no idea what I was doing. I was winging probably 80% of this. I did a little bit of research, but you know what? I was like, I think at the time I was feeling confident, but then later I was like, oh, yeah, I see what I did.
Would you say this is one of your finished works that you'd say you've mostly expressed yourself with, because you weren't following a certain standard. This is something extremely unique.
Extremely just my interests, basically. I was like, I was very much just like, I don't care who gets the reference or not. I'm just like, one of my favorite video game series of all time is Dark Souls, and I was like, I want to do a Dark Souls Gundam crossover, and it's like that's kind of why I added like the Moonlight Greatsword, the Moonlight Butterfly Wings, the Turn A Gundams painted like the Elite Knight armor set from Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like Dark Souls is kind of a Bandai Namco property too, in a way.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a little bit of a crossover between there,
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool.
It is.
Yeah, but it was definitely something I learned a lot from as my first diorama and first Gunpla competition.
Yes, because like your diorama really as I mentioned earlier, it really caught my eye compared to the other works that you did. I think what really proved that is our conversation about, or even Miguel's for conversation about your style in painting, because as you can see, the hues, the lighting, it's all on the cooler side. And,
Exactly. Yeah.
and from what I understand, that's also part of your personal aesthetics. That's how you that's the color scheme that you intuitively go to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so true.
Yeah. And I kind of noticed, I've always wanted to mention this. The way you paint swords specifically, like for example, the figure is dark, the background is dark, but when it comes to the sword, it's a much brighter shade of blue. And if you in one of your posts on the mini, I'm not sure what it's called. It was also building a great sword, and it was also like it was a really dark mini, and then it was building a really bright sword, as if it was like reflecting, the sky or something.
That's the Warhammer figure. Company Master Balthazar. Yes.
Yeah, that one. Is that intentional, or did you just wing that too?
This is more of a great. That's a great question, because the sword on this particular build was one of those things where I was like, I want to try this technique out, right? Like remember what I said earlier about like with every project I start, I'm like, I need to learn something new, or I want to try something new, and let's see how it goes. This was definitely one of those projects, like, with the rest of the miniature, like minus the sword, is like pretty standard miniature painting techniques. You base coat, you shade, you highlight. But then when it came to the sword, I'm like, okay, this is a pretty unique part of the model. I want it to be the focal point of this miniature. So I want to try, expressing, because it's the weapon in the universe is a power sword. So it's like a weapon that's like charged with like, I guess like a energy or electrical charge. So I was like, okay, how can I express that, in this miniature? So I looked at other examples of the model online, and there's different versions of it. Sometimes people do it all light blue in one gradient, and sometimes they have like this. If you look at this blade of the sword, it's like this opposing gradient where there's a light. Like here's the blade, and you have a lighter section kind of offset from one another, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it looks like it's charging in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, I borrowed that idea, or I guess tried that idea from a technique called non-metallic metal, where it's like you basically sketch highlights on there and then you gradually blend them in.
Yeah.
I do have a personal critique of myself on this, because it was kind of my first time trying it. Like, it looks great, from a distance, but sometimes when I look at it, I'm like, I could have made these transitions a little smoother. So that's something I'm going to continue to work on. But yeah, that took so long to do. It took so long for one miniature. I feel like, but like I said, I don't play the game. I paint miniatures for display, for collection, right? For learning and kind of like personal education. I feel like a good way to approach that is don't have any fear, right? When you start a new project, is like, that's 100% my thought process. Like, don't have any fear. Don't worry about it looking bad. Just try it. Just do it. That's the only way you're ever going to learn something, right?
Yeah. So I'm also interested, or we're also interested in knowing your like research process. Uh, let's try to get more in depth to that. So before,
Sure.
especially for example in the diorama, you at that point you've thought of the theme, and you know what I guess what it's gonna look like. So how did you approach researching, and how do you think like other uh, builders should approach researching?
I would say the best answer to that question is look to your interests, right? Look at two aesthetics that like inspire you the most. Um, right? Like and work to your strengths. So when I research like for the diorama you said for example, it's like okay, I want to make something that's going to grab people's attention, but I don't want to make it look like I'm just being a copycat and making something. I mean, that's like a personal goal I set, right? That's not necessarily everyone's thought process, but the main thing should be just like working with your strengths, what you're good at, and it's just back to the same thing, just setting a goal, right? Like what story I'm gonna like for a diorama, for example, the best ones are like the ones that tell stories, right? So what story are you gonna tell? What scene are you portraying? And how can you express that? Like the best way to think about it is like your favorite manga or comic panel, right? They can show so much happening in like one panel or one page. Like how can you express that in like a physical object? It's kind of like that, telling the story. So when researching is like, yeah, one, what are your goals? Like, what are your aesthetics? Are you looking for what visual style are you going for? Some people like that anime style, for example, or maybe they want hyper realistic with tons of weathering, realistic rust and stuff, or maybe they're going for like a hyper stylized like anime look. It's just really what you want to do, and you have to just go down that role and commit to it, right? And also do some tests too. Test stuff. Committing to something doesn't always mean like I have to do it and fail no matter what. It's like, yeah, don't be afraid to just run some tests, paint some spoons, get some scrap pieces. You paint a miniature, you don't like it, just strip the paint and start over. Not the end of the world. I would say, yeah, in terms of research, once you've set your goals, dive straight into that.
See. Wise words from the Plamomancer.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Yeah, and actually, you can see it reflected on your work, man. Everything looks great. If you didn't say that it was your first time trying to make a diorama, we wouldn't know that. I mean, I don't know. You're really good at this.
It was such a pain in the butt. I'll be honest. I'm an open book. Like, there was a lot of points with that where I'm like, man, I just want to throw this in the trash. But there's many builds I've done. I'll be honest with you guys, where I'm like, maybe I'm just gonna quit here and throw it in the trash. But I'm very stubborn. When I start a project, I'm like, I need to see it to the end. Or even if I mess something up, I'm like, how can I fix it, right? And I feel like that's pretty important because sometimes it's good to walk away from stuff, but it's really important to try to see things to the end because that's the only way you're really going to grow from and get better at something, right? Yeah.
So, so you're going to join this year's GBWC as well?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Already working on it. Josh is way ahead of me.
Yeah. Shout out Josh, by the way. Hi, Josh. I hope you're watching.
Josh.
Hey,
Love you, Joshy Poo.
Joshy Poo.
Joshy Poo.
But yeah, we're excited to see your GBWC entry for this year, and good luck to us, I guess, because we're also joining. It's gonna be our first time, so hearing you talk about your first GBWC entry is actually really, really inspiring, and
yes,
be what you said about just do not be afraid, just try and do it. It's something similar to what Miguel has told us before, and that's something that builders who are interested in joining competitions or just building for fun should really practice. And it's really That's really nice to hear from someone who's really what do you call this? I think well seasoned.
Come on, man, you can do it.
A veteran in building.
I appreciate. I am ever a student, but I appreciate that
Yeah,
sentiment. I would say yes, that's a great idea. Always remember that when you're trying a project, when you're doing something like that, don't just do it. It's the only way you'll ever know, and you'll probably regret it if you didn't try. So if you definitely even have an inkling of wanting to do something, participate in something, just do it. Worse, I've seen guys put straight builds at the GBWC table, like they didn't even paint it. So I think, yeah, it's definitely worth a shot.
Oh yeah, we see a handful of those.
Justin, if you're watching, it's worth a shot.
It's okay, guys. It's okay, guys. They shot their shot, and that's okay. That's okay too.
So yeah, any closing, any final thoughts, Ralph, GP, Miguel, you would like to ask Fritz here?
I'm pretty satisfied.
Yep. All right.
What's your favorite gunpla kit?
Oh no, yeah, that's our wrap-up questions here. We just gotta ask you some fun questions.
Sure.
Yeah. So GP, ask that again.
No.
All right. So what's your favorite gunpla kit of all time, Fritz?
My favorite gunpla kit of all time. Ooh. That's a tough one. Man, so cliche, but I really like the Gundam Unicorn. I know that's like to a lot of people that's like super overrated, but it like that's honestly I love that kit. It's kind of reignited my love into painting gunpla. That was one of the kits I was determined to like I need to paint this thing like so yeah, the Gundam Unicorn I would say.
Oh, okay. Which do you prefer? The Katoki one or the non-Katoki one?
I think like you're talking about the master grade.
Yeah.
I think the only difference on the Katoki and the non-Katoki ones, like the head Vulcans and like parts on the leg, right? It's like the only difference. 'Cause I think I built the non-Katoki one. It's like there's like subtle differences in them.
The Katoki is more slimmer. The non-Katoki is chunkier when it comes to like the width of it.
Oh, give me the chunk. I like the chunk.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like the thickness.
Yeah. In mechas.
Yeah.
Thick.
All right, and then what is your favorite Gundam anime?
Ooh, it'd have to be probably 00. I really love 00. That's what kind of like really got me excited about Gundam anime in general. And maybe Unicorn is a close second, just mainly because of the animation, the soundtrack. Beautiful. Hiroyuki Sawano's score for that series, amazing. And the 7-episode version, the OVA is not the I think they cut it into like a 24-episode series later. It's like not that. The original the hour-long episodes, the 7 episodes. But 00 first. Yeah.
Yes. All right, and then one last, just a fun question. You don't have to think too hard about this, but what do you think is the ugliest color combination of a stock gunpla kit, and how would you change its colors?
Oh my god, the hobby Hyzak. The hobby Hyzak. It's so ugly. It's so ugly, man. It's like white and blue. I just knew. I didn't even have to think about it. I know a lot of people like it. I'm sorry. It's ugly. I would just make it more like oh god. I'm gonna burn somebody's eyes out with it. That's rough, man. I don't know. I would maybe replace the white with like a lighter blue to contrast with the other blue. Because I like the red and the yellow, but something jarring about just like the white. It's like trying to be a Gundam.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of vibe. Yeah, it's Uncanny Valley. Yeah, kind of look to it. Because I love the Hyzak. I love the shape, the design, but just the color scheme is. I don't know, man. It doesn't do it for me.
All right. So yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's our interview. for and thank you so much for being here. We know that you are in a convention right now, and thank you for taking the time to still be here with us. But before we let you go, of course, we'll first go to the next segment of the show, which is this week's featured photos.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Right, GP, I'll take this away.
Well, this is from the Plamo group. Chaz Floyd, who's a moderator in our team, actually posted this, and I think this is a third-party kit.
Yeah.
If I'm right.
Good. Third party.
I don't know which one. Is it the Tor one? I don't know, but man, look at that.
Man, they look the same.
It's huge.
It's really, those third-party kits are really giving Bandai a run for their money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually scary, and so
which is
cheap,
which is
too.
good. Which is good because we need competition. They need
Yeah,
competition.
that's true.
True.
We need choice.
Yeah.
Even though we're already spoiled for choice, but it's okay.
Yeah. So, I really like
That's
the
awesome.
posing on this one. This is cool. I like this is
Yeah,
cool.
that's
It's giving
That's
Green
awesome.
Goblin.
Man, look at that. It has fans.
Green,
in
yeah,
the-
Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Holy
Looks
damn,
like a-
that's so detailed.
I know,
It is.
right?
Peter Parker.
I wonder, like,
Peter.
what level of customization he did to this. Like, are they
It's
already
not modded,
colors-
man. It's straight build.
It's already color separated, like that, out of the
Yeah.
box. Oh damn.
Yeah, dude.
Bandai really need to step up.
Yeah, those third-party kits are insane. Like I've seen have you seen the instruction manuals for those? They're like
No.
they're like magazines. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Incredible.
How long did it take you to build your what was that? The third party kit that you built? I forgot. Was that a third party? Oh
No,
never
it's not a third party, bro.
Oh shit, sorry. I thought it was never mind. Okay.
The good smile one.
Oh yeah, it was a good smile. All right. And then the next
up.
one.
Gunpla, People's Choice in Gunpla photography group. This is the Gaply, customized Gaply.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't know if I pronounced that right. Gaply,
Wow.
this is so good.
Got Bali?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gaply,
I've always called it the Gabthalay.
Gaply.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right either, but oh man, that is nice.
That's it.
Got that.
It is
The
nice.
the gradient on particularly on the legs right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Wow. That looks awesome.
Just look at the before and after. Damn.
That's so good.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I really love the.
Is that a Xeon suit or a Titan?
This is Z. I think it's a Xeon
Xeon.
suit.
I want to say Xeon, but man, that
It
looks
looks
so
like a
good.
Titan now after that.
Yeah.
With the color scheme.
Oh yeah. That Titans blue too.
Yeah.
All right.
I really like the way the build. The
I like how he
model-
can transform.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's a parts former.
Oh, it's parts former. So crazy though. Look at that.
I love the
Yeah.
planes on the ribs. Like it's rounder before, but now there's planes, there's dimensions.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think
That
there's
that
black-
green almost has like a fluorescent to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fluorescent look. It looks really great. I wonder if that's like a clear or like a fluorescent underneath. That looks awesome.
Good job, Angus. Angus? Is that right?
Angus.
Angus.
Yeah.
Angus.
And then, oh yeah.
My
Wow.
choice.
And then GB's
Ooh,
choice of the week.
Yeah, from Plamo. Something different.
Hey,
I was surprised this rider is actually a girl.
Huh.
Yeah.
That. Good poses, man. This is
Yeah.
by.
I like the poses.
This is by Marvin Cabral.
Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, good job. Again, if you guys want your builds to be featured, you can always join the Plamo photography if you would like to post your non-Gunpla Plamo kits. And if you would like your Gundam builds to be featured, make sure to join Gunpla Photography on Facebook and on Reddit and on Discord as well.
Oh, and we're hosting a contest.
Oh, yeah. All right, go ahead.
Photography contest starting June 1. I posted and pinned it in our pages and in the group. Sponsored by Vivian Blue, urban photography team. Let's go.
Yeah, so
Sick.
make sure to check the Perfect Grade Studios Facebook page to know more details about the contest. Do we yeah, so there will be 3 winners, and they will receive special vouchers from Vivian Blue. So make sure to check that out. Again,
Vivian.
so that's this week's episode. Thank you so much, Fritz. We've learned so much from you and your amazing work. And again,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Thank you for having me. Eat more Jollibee chicken.
If you visit, I will treat you to Mang Inaso.
Have you heard of that?
Oh. No, what is that?
It's a it's a grilled chicken. It's a fast food, and they have special grilled chicken. It's called inasal. It just
Yeah, and if you
That
and,
sounds
and you,
so
when
good.
you order
Jollibee
a
bought
certain-
them.
you got
Yeah,
unlimited
Jollibee
rice.
owns them. Yeah, it got unlimited rice.
Unlimited rice.
Yeah.
You're pulling on my heartstrings. Carbs on carbs on carbs. Give me all the carbs. Give me all the
I
chicken
know,
joy
right?
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's healthy though. It's grilled.
Healthy. Sure.
like this much chicken and this much rice.
Yeah. And they have this like
Exactly.
this chicken oil that you can put on you can flood your rice with.
Ooh,
so,
ooh.
so good.
Well,
So you
Ooh.
should try that if you ever get the chance to come back here.
I'm hungry now.
Mang Inasal, you should go to the US, man. Get a franchise in the US. Or you could visit us here, man.
Come to Kentucky. We'll look at horses together.
Bro.
Epic, man.
But yeah, Fritz, good luck on your showcase today, and I hope you win. And
Oh no,
I'll
you
post some
will win.
photos.
yeah, upload some photos. All right. Thank you for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you are on Facebook, make sure to like our page as well and share the video. Again, this is Perfect Grade Podcast. Thank you for watching. And always remember, we're not just building kits. We're building something bigger. Goodbye. Perfect Grade Podcast.